All right, y'all, here it is, finale. Got a week's worth of mileage under it, which for me typically is about 500 to 600 miles. It starts up, it doesn't rattle anymore. I always thought that it was normal because pretty much ever since I bought this car, whenever you start it up for the first 5 seconds, maybe 3 to 5 seconds, it just rattled and then it would get quiet. But yeah, it doesn't even do that anymore because hello, the cam chain, the timing chains were loose on it, or timing chain was loose on it. So all told, I'm about 1,500 into it. Sorry about the sun. Stand by. I did have to buy some specialized tools. One of them is, I don't know where it's at, but it is a harmonic balancer tool, and the thing's got about a 36-inch handle on it. When I ordered this thing online, I thought, holy crap, that thing's huge. I'm not going to need anything that big. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. A couple of things. Had the company show up, and I had to turn off my hose bib back here for my car wash. I've got a water softener. Water's real hard out here, so I ran a hose bib off of my softener so I can wash the cars and not have hard water spots. Anyway, back to the tools. I bought a $160 tool set, and it came with the cam locks, the big ass bar that I was telling you about, and a spacer for the gears on the front. Also had to buy a poly drive, I think it's called, and it's like it's a 6-point, but it's not a typical Torx bit. It actually looks like a cog. So I had to buy that. I had to do some machining right here. Let's see if this shows up. Of course it's not going to show up. The shank on it right here was too thick to get down in the holes that are in the head to tight. This is for the head bolts. And the shank was too thick, so I had to get on my grinder and grind it down and grind it down. And I got 9 out of 10 bolts, and the very last one was too deep. So I got my punch and punched this tool out of the shank, out of this socket. Punched the tool out of it and just put a 10 millimeter on this and used that to torque the last bolt down. So 10 millimeter deep socket. So it was and it's a 3/8 drive, so it was much smaller diameter. I was able to get in there. So I got that done. Oh no, pizza's here. Hang on. Okay, try this again. Poly drive and triple squares. I got this kit at O'Reilly, and if you can see, 2 of them are smaller. These 2 right here, I actually put those, I got my grinding wheel after those and cut them down because the distance between the engine mount and the strut tower was these were too long to get in there, so I had to cut them down and put a 13 millimeter wrench on them to get those busted loose. Other than that, that's about it. These definitely come in handy. If you're going to work on a European vehicle, you will need triple squares. And on this one, definitely the poly drive for the head bolts. Other than that, it was just time and hours. If anybody has any questions about what it took, there's a few questions that I had that I couldn't find any answers to. One was, can you do it while the engine's still in the car? And the answer is yes, you can. I did it. I did not pull the engine. If you jack it up and get it up high enough, pull the passenger side front wheel off and get your fender well out of the way, inner fender out of the way, you'll be able to get to everything fairly easily. Turbo had to come off, obviously, because the exhaust manifold is on the back of the head, and that's between the firewall and the engine itself, and you have to come up from the bottom. So there's a heat shield over the transaxle that has to come out of the way. If I was to put this literally, if I had time, I would have done a step-by-step, a whole series on the top end of this car. But number one, it's the first time I'd done it, and I didn't want to take a chance on getting distracted, worrying about making the video. And then also, it was going to be a challenge to kind of space everything out and get myself the room to do what I needed to do to get all the right camera angles. So space constraints and time constraints and needing to focus on task at hand, so I didn't do a step-by-step. But I'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has. Thanks for the views so far. If anybody has any questions, any comments, leave them in the comment section below. And hopefully I'll be back on my cool stuff, my fun stuff. I don't have any more issues with that car that I know of. And the Saturn that I was spending hours on, the Saturn Outlook, I've got a few more videos coming out on that one for some final repairs that I did before we got rid of it. And bought my wife this little Mercedes. It's a C250 2014. It was a 24,000 mile lease from Palm Springs. So yeah, no more fighting with that damn Saturn. So that's gone. Saturn's gone. I do need to do pitman arm and steering gearbox on the Tahoe. Outside of that, I'm free and clear. So hopefully I'll be putting out some more videos on the Monte Carlo and the El Caminos. All right, everybody take it easy. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for the new subscribers, and we will see you on the next one. Adios.